The U.S. is now in its third month of stay-at-home mandates amid the COVID-19 outbreak, and tensions around the country are beginning to rise.
We want to work! We want to work!
Stay-at-home orders across the country are being lifted in some states with small populations, but in other states, protests have begun popping up in reaction to the lockdowns. Governor Andrew Cuomo has since addressed the protesters in New York, saying,
"We get the economic anxiety. The question is, how do you respond to it? And do you respond to it in a way that jeopardizes public health and possibly causes more people to die?"
As the protests continue to gain momentum across the country, many social media users are noticing a stark difference in the way law enforcement responds to this, in comparison to movements like Black Lives Matter and the Dakota Access Pipeline protests.
Now look at the conservative protesters today who are waving around their American and Confederate flags as well as their guns while endangering countless American lives and disrespecting the countless doctors, nurses, and medical staff who are putting their lives on the line to keep all of y'all safe, and not a single arrest happens.
Speaking out against this inequality is co-chair for Black Lives Matter Greater New York and Congressional Candidate for the 15th District of New York, Chivona Newsome, who shares her experience with the racial disparity in the act of protesting.
You see the disparities ever clearer, and white men are allowed to carry humongous assault rifles into state capitals, and they call them organized protesters. And we organize, practice social distancing, and we are treated like terrorists.
Despite public messages on the importance of unity during the outbreak, Newsome expressed she wasn't surprised to see these racial inequalities arise. According to an article by the New York Times, the NYPD has arrested 40 people for social distancing violations. 35 of them were Black.
Before any video footage came out, we knew that Black and brown people were not going to be treated fairly by New York City police. Social policing, we know that Black and brown people are more likely to be assaulted.
In addition to her current activism and community support, Newsome uses the disproportionate effects of COVID-19 towards Black and brown communities to voice the importance of a political presence to make a difference.
We need protesting, but we need people like us who are on the front line to go to Congress, to go to City Council, to go to state legislation and make a real change.
Reporting for BronxNet, Chivona Newsome.